I was terrified, people. Terrified. There's literally not a person more qualified than me to make this freaking video because I was so terrified. How terrified were you? Well, let me explain. I was so terrified that literally I told my mentor I would rather go to the mall and talk to people randomly at a freaking kiosk than make cold calls. I actually said that. It was hilarious, and I still think about it all the time, and I just laughed to myself. I have absolute conviction that if you stay to the end of this video, you will not have an ounce of fear left when it comes to making cold calls as a real estate agent. Let's dive into the video. So, number one, I'm just gonna break this thing down into 3 simple, easy to consume sections of this video. That's why I'm saying you need to stay to the very end because every single second of it is so freaking important. So, the very first part of this is going to be mindset. When you are thinking about the right mindset to be in as a real estate agent, there's a couple key things you need to be doing to make sure you knock it out of the freaking park. And you get rid of all those jitters and fears that you have around cold calling, okay? So, when it comes to mindset, first and foremost, you just want to go for no. Let me make that clear. When I was making my calls, years and years and years ago, back in my day when I was making my phone calls, I was terrified, people. Terrified. There's literally not a person more qualified than me to make this freaking video because I was so terrified. How terrified were you? Well, let me explain. I was so terrified that literally I told my mentor I would rather go to the mall and talk to people randomly at a freaking kiosk than make cold calls. I actually said that. It was hilarious, and I still think about it all the time, and I just laughed to myself. Listen, the point that I'm trying to make is I went from being terrified to the bone to even pick up the phone. I was like, yeah, that was me. Okay, point is I went from that to making over 1 million cold calls in my career. Yes, 1 million. The reason why that was is because my mentor said one thing, and it was really the only thing I ever really learned from her, which was go for no. Henry, just get 10 no's, okay? Just get 10 no's. That's literally what she said to me. Just get 10 no's. Now, I don't recommend that you just go for 10, but I am saying go for no. More than anything, if you are terrified, the best part about it is high five your freaking neighbor, your teammate, your mom, your mother. I don't care who you high five, yourself. You can high five your damn self. If you get a no, get excited because at least you're doing the job. Because guess what? If you get 10 no's, you're probably going to get a yes. I hope you said a yes. The point is that if you get enough no's, you're going to get enough yeses to make yourself a freaking living. And I had to go for the same exact thing. As a matter of fact, you get your little piece of paper and a little pen out, and you're just going to do a little tick every single time that you get a no. Until you get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 no's, because if you can get 50 no's a day, you're probably going to have a really successful career. Let me just be super blunt. Number next is going to be just make the first call. Just make one. Just make one single freaking call. Have the mindset, I'm just making one. I'm going to the office and I'm making at least one call today. Because if you pick up the phone and you make one, number 2 becomes that much easier. Number 3 becomes that much easier after. So go to the office and just commit to making a call today. If you make one, you'll probably make a next, and then the next, and then the next. But so many people are so terrified they can't even pick up the phone. That was me! But if I went for no, and I just promised myself I'm going to the office today, and I'm making my call. I'm going for no at least one damn time. It happened again, and again, and again, and again. And then I just got so comfortable going for no, I was like, maybe I should go for a yes. Point number next is eliminate all distractions. So the more that you can be, and I'm not just making a joke here, that you can legitimately be in an office all by your lonesome, go to an office. If you have to be in an office, I make calls from home, guys. I make calls from home. I made calls from home. I did go to the office a lot because I lived with my parents and I needed to get out of the house because there was no place to make calls in the quiet. So again, to eliminate distractions, I went to the office and I went into a little office that I rented and I just made my calls. No distractions. I locked the door. I was not allowed to leave. I even had a little note on the door that said, do not knock and or disturb before 12 noon. Before 12 noon, every single day, I was not allowed to leave that office. I would lock myself. I couldn't even go to the bathroom. Should put a urinal in my office. The point is that I literally locked myself in the office until I made my calls. That's what I literally mean by eliminate all distractions. No matter what, you're not allowed to leave that office until you make your calls. And you don't want people yipping, yapping in your ear because what's going to happen is Jim's going to be like, hey, how you doing, Henry? And then you're going to have a conversation about nothing that matters at all in regards to making money. I'm going to say, Jim, talk to you later. Thank you so much. Have a great day. I'm on the phone. Hello. Yeah, exactly. That's why I like to be by myself, away from all distractions. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Delete all the freaking apps that don't serve you. Eliminate all distractions. I've literally been with agents, and I'm coaching them, and they're scrolling. This was me like years ago. I'm in a session coaching 30 agents, and I see people just scrolling on their phone. I'm like, are you serious? If you're going to be this in a training, you're probably doing that during a phone call, and when somebody answers the phone, you're probably going to be like, you're going to be scrolling, and then all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh my God, hello. And they're going to hang up, okay? That's what's going to happen. So that's why I'm trying to say pay attention Eliminate all distractions. This way you can be super focused. All right, number next is pump yourself up before you make your first phone call. Now listen, it's gonna be the same thing as you gotta stand up. Stand up, yeah, exactly. You're gonna stand up while you make your freaking phone calls, because as you can see, my energy's on freaking fire when I stand up, and when I sit down, right, as we're gonna lower the camera, yeah, exactly. What happens is that when you do this, what ends up happening is that when you sit down, you get relaxed, and then you just slowly melt and you're relaxed, and this is what ends up happening, then you just sound like you're not interested on the call. My energy's nuts, okay? As you can see, I'm a little bit all over the place. This is how I am all the time, by the way, on the phone. I'm just excited, gregarious, all that kind of stuff. I've trained myself to literally be able to turn it on and turn it off at any given time. But again, that only happened because I would stand up, I'd be energetic, I'd move my body, right? That all matters. It all matters. So again, the mindset is pump yourself up. I used to listen to music. You know, I'd stand up, I'd do my jumping jacks, I'd do some push-ups. I would be prepared to make my calls and be so jacked up, ready to go. It was impossible for me to sound distracted or, you know, like I didn't care or not interested. Like, it was impossible for me to sound like that because I was so freaking jacked up. You're probably not gonna be as excited as I am right now to make your calls if you're terrified. Because if I go back to my younger self, I'd probably smack myself, number one, okay? Be like,
spot, quick as hell.
Guys, what ends up happening, if you take everything I just said, making your first phone call will not be too difficult. However, for me at least, I didn't know what to say, which is what stopped me more than anything. So let's talk about it. Part 2 is all about strategy, because now you got the mindset and you're jacked up and you're ready to go and you're like, what do I say, Henry? What can I possibly say? What do I do?
You're gonna learn today.
Well, now that you're jacked up, what we're gonna do is the following. Number 1, to know what to say, you should download my free script book. It's down below, download it for free, enjoy. Now you know what to say. What do you do with it now that you know what to say? Because you're jacked up and you're excited, you should be using that script and having 40 minimum conversations a day. That's number 1. 40 minimum conversations a day. Literally recite the script. Have it printed right in front of you and just read that bad boy, okay? Because that script is literally millions of calls in the making. I didn't come up with it. I reiterated a bunch of other scripts that I came from a bunch of other places, and I made it my own. And by the way, you can do the same exact thing. However, I wouldn't recommend changing the script until you've made a lot of phone calls and you've been successful with what you have already. Because what people do is that they don't read the script. They don't know what to say. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Because it's right in front of you, and just say it. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna read the script, and you're going to get an appointment. Even if you've never made a call before, just read the script. It's really that simple. Number next, when you are going about your day, so many of you do anything else besides making phone calls. You literally will do anything else. You will find a way to check your email. You'll find a way to post on Instagram. You'll find a way to go to get food with somebody that in your office, like, oh my God, it's the worst when a realtor goes out to lunch with another realtor. Why would you do that? Okay? That was my best Sebastian Maniscalco impression. I hope you enjoyed it.
Why would you do that?
The point that I'm trying to make here is stop wasting time. Because when you have even an 8-hour day, and I gotta make 40 conversations a day, you're like, 40? How do I make 40? Well, if you work 4 hours a day, you gotta have 10 conversations an hour, which means every 6 minutes you have to have 1 conversation a day. Guys, if you download Mojo Sells, go to mojosells.com, baby, because if you use an auto dialer like Mojo, making 400 calls a day was so easy, because you literally go, I want to call this list and I want to press go, and then guess what? It would dial for you. I made 600, 700, 800 calls a day, dials a day, because the dialer made it so much easier. When I had a hand dial, I don't even know how I made even 30 calls a day. I don't even know how. Be efficient. And that's why I'm trying to say, guys, if you do 4 hours a day, 40 conversations, that's 10 per hour. But if you work 8 hours a day, you make 8 hours worth of calls. It's only 5 conversations an hour. 5 conversations an hour! If you can't do 5 conversations an hour, especially with a dialer, I'm sorry, but I don't know what you're doing with your time. Let's just be honest, because you're probably out having lunch with other realtors, okay? Stop doing that, please. If you have 8 hours a day's worth of conversations, and you have 40 plus conversations a day, anything above you do, I'm telling you right now, you will have not a good year, a great year, I assure you. And if it's not a great year, it'll at least be a good year. All right, number next, guys. If you're not tracking your calls, okay, which literally just means how many calls did you make, how many conversations did you have, how many leads did you get, how many appointments did you set, you're probably like, how on earth do I track all this? Guess what? I did it for you, okay? All you have to do, go in the description down below and click on Coaching with Henry for free. You can literally sign up for free. Yes, I literally coach people for free, and you can be one of them in my course that you will download and get for free. I have a tracker. Download it. You're going to love it. Productivity trackers are the freaking best thing in the freaking world. Made my life so simple, and then you're going to take all that data and plug it right into an Excel sheet. Don't overcomplicate this. I already did it for you. Okay, enjoy. Again, it's down in the description down below. Track your data, because what you do not track does not grow. So again, if you want to grow in your bank account, okay, where it matters, in the wallet, okay, you need to track your data. Track your leads so your leads can grow. Track your business so your business can grow, okay? Guys, look, I'm not just saying this to say this. Okay, I'm saying this because these are actually things that I did that enhanced my business, and I wanted to do the same for you. And last thing I'm gonna say for the strategy section of this part is the software. We already talked about one, okay? There's only three, okay? They're all very simple. Number one is Mojo. Go to mojosells.com. Mojosells.com, download it. It's the same thing as RedX, it's the same thing as Vulcan 7. I like Mojo, I've used them forever. I am not getting paid to say this. I wish I was, but I'm not getting paid to say this. I've used Mojo for literally since the day I got in the business, okay? I've tried all the other ones, I just don't like them as much. I use Mojo, okay? But RedX and Vulcan 7 are fantastic, and just use whatever the heck works for you, okay? So, number next is a CRM system. I love when people say, what CRM system to use? Well, you can watch my video of the best CRM to use in 2022 right here, okay? Check that video out, you can learn that. Or, you can just use one your freaking company uses, okay, which is free. And the third software you need to be using is Excel to track your data. Track your data, you can put all your transactions in there. Guys, all my companies around real estate use Google Drive, and Excel spreadsheets are really Google Sheets, okay? It's really the same exact thing. I just use Excel, Google Sheets, same thing. Your Excel spreadsheet does not have to be that pretty to be useful, okay? Just use it. Mojo, a CRM system, anything you use is fine, and Google Sheets or Excel, okay? Use those three and you'll be a freaking millionaire, promise you. All right, part number 3, and my favorite freaking part of it. Now, you got the mindset, and you got the strategy and the understanding of exactly what we're gonna be doing. Now you're on the phone call, okay? Picture this, you're on the call, and you're probably like, okay, like I'm on the call and I got my script and I'm like talking and I want to make sure I do this right because it sounds and feels so wonky. It's like riding a bike without the chaining wheels. It's like riding a bike for the first time. That's what this is like, and I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. Not only are you going to read the script, like we've been saying over and over and over again, okay? You're going to read the script. What we're going to do next is that you're going to practice tonality. Tonality, which is again what you'll see me do all the freaking time in all my videos. Tonality has a bunch of different versions of it. Tonality can be talking like this and really excited all the time. Again, we'll talk about read speech in a second, but talking excited, full of energy, that you're going to want to do, and you're going to want to match the tonality to the person. I wouldn't want to talk like this and, you know, super quick and super fast, like all this like excited stuff, and I'm smiling and like talking really fast. You don't want to do that to an old lady because she's gonna be like, what are you saying? Hello, what? I don't understand you. You talk too fast. I got that a lot, obviously. I mean, you could probably put 2 and 2 together, okay? Yeah, I talk fast. Listen, guys, I'm from New Jersey, baby. We talk fast. But I am here to say to you that tonality, matching tonality and rate of speech, which is number 2, talking at the same exact speed, having the same exact tonality as the person you're speaking to is going to revolutionize your conversion rate. Because again, if you're speaking to an older woman, older man, and they talk very slowly, you should probably, and softly, you should probably do the same thing, okay? Now again, I want you to understand, I talk to big commercial owners, big, you know, property owners all over the country now, okay? It's one of my companies. I talk to people like from Texas, and they do not talk as fast as us from New Jersey. So when I'm speaking to y'all in Texas, I'm just joking a little bit here, but when they say y'all, I'll have to say y'all, okay? That's literally rate of speech and tonality at the same time. Mirroring and matching. It's literally matching and mirroring my clientele, person on the phone. It's the best thing in the world to do. This is being super sincere, no jokes here. If you talk to somebody with an accent, I'm not telling you to literally pretend like you have an accent. That would be not good. I did that when the very first time I watched a video and the guy said, you should mirror match your person, and I tried to make really bad accents. And I'm telling you, it did not work out well. However, hear me out. I'm gonna tell you something like I just made as a small joke, but again, if I'm talking to people from Texas and they say y'all, if I say y'all as like just having a normal conversation, instead of you all, I just say y'all. I don't have to sound it super professional, super polished, because again, what happens is that it can be relatable. I'm not saying talk in a freaking accent when you don't have an accent, because that could be not so great, okay? I'm being honest, and I don't appreciate when people try to do it to me. However, I'm telling you honestly, people can appreciate when you speak their language. Number next, when it comes to tactics here, is going to be body language. I talk a lot with my hands because I think I'm Italian, okay? No, I'm just kidding. But what happens is that I've spent a lot of time with people that speak with their hands, so I picked it up as well, okay? And when I'm with people, people do it too, and that's just how I've become in my life. The point I'm trying to make here is that body language, like I talked about standing up before, really is supportive. It's really supportive of like moving your body and like talking with your hands and like just like enunciating with certain things. Like body language is powerful. Body language is energy. It's how you expel energy. And actually, people can actually relate with you more so if you speak with your body as well. If you're just speaking like this and your hands are crossed and you're like, this is how I talk and I'm talking really professional. You have a weird eye contact with the person. it's not gonna work. But when you're smiling and you're enjoying it, I'm like, hey, I'm talking to you, and you speak with your hands and your body, guys, like, people feel connected. You can feel the difference, especially when I'm mirroring and matching. When I'm trying to mirror match somebody, I don't even know what you sound like. Am I doing a good job? Right? That type of stuff, guys, like, that's what building a connection, building a relationship is all about. I've literally had agents, I've gone on listing presentations with them, and they sit there like this, arms crossed, sitting back, like, and they're like stone cold, like, I'm like, loosen up a little bit. God, what are you doing? You're not going to get a listing appointment all closed up. It's just not going to happen. All right, number next is intention. Have an intention for every single phone call. So when you're on the call with them, what is your intention? Who wants to tell me? Yes, you over there. I hope you said set an appointment, okay, because I can't hear you. If you do not have the intention of setting an appointment on every single phone call, you're not going to ask the right questions to get the right result. Because just getting somebody's information and their motivation, aka the why of why they're looking to sell, just getting that is not enough. The intention every single time of making a cold call should simply set an appointment. Every phone call. And if they don't want to set an appointment, download my script book, again, down in the description below, and handle the objection, okay? Because role-playing every single day, role-play with somebody, I did this for years. I have a good buddy of mine. He was not a real estate agent, okay? And we would role-play all the time. We would go through his script, and then we'd go through my script and say, hey, my objection is blank, and we would practice it every single day. And it can be a lot of fun, actually, especially if you have a lot of people on a team, or if you're a part of a team, or you're building a team, or you're a brand new real estate agent, and you've never made a freaking cold call. Get around one person, not a lot of people, but you can get around one person, and you can make calls together if you have to, okay? If you don't like the whole being alone part, I love making calls alone, I like making calls with other people. It just depends on my mood. The one thing that I'm gonna say in relationship to that is whether you have a calling buddy and they don't show up, you still make your calls. Like, I was so determined that I was gonna make my calls whether my partner showed up or not. Number next is high energy. Obviously, I don't have a problem with this anymore. But if I asked you, guess right now, how do you think I sounded on my very first cold call? I didn't sound like this. Not at all. I remember the very first phone call I had, I hung up on the guy. And guess what? That was part of my nose. So I was like, I gotta know. And she's like, well, it didn't really count. Because you hung up on them. They didn't hang up on you. Right? But I counted it as a no anyways. And then the next person, I didn't hang up on them, but I got hung up on. And guess what? That's okay. Because it was a second no. And I kept going, and I kept going, and I was terrified. And I got to 10, I was like, oh my God, thank God that's over. But I did it again and again and again and again and again and again. And eventually, I got better at it. Okay? Just like you, we'll get better at it. Get in the zone, and you're gonna get high energy, and you're gonna smile. Smile because you can hear somebody smile over the phone. There is a difference when I'm smiling and when I'm not. You can hear the difference. And especially if you're having a conversation with somebody, ask somebody you're role-playing with to smile when they do a script and then not smile. You will hear the difference. You can probably hear it in my voice right now because I'm not smiling. But now the rest of the video, I'm promising you I'm gonna smile. I just wanna make sure you see the difference. Smiling brings the energy. Smiling is a great leeway into bringing higher energy. Anytime that I sat down and wasn't smiling, my energy was low. But when I stood up and I was smiling, baby, I had high energy. Practice this over and over and over again. Guys, it's not going to all of a sudden be like this and you're gonna be a superstar at making cold calls. But I assure you, if you want to learn making cold calls, this is just a simple freaking trick to just dominate. Or go from okay to good or good to great. I mean, like, this is a simple shift that can drastically change your results. Number next is listen to understand, not listen to respond. Because what a lot of people do, even to you probably right now, right? What happens is that people listen carefully to, and then they're like thinking about what they're going to say next instead of listening to actually understand this person. And this happens often when you don't know what to say. So you're trying to like think about what to say before they stop talking. What happens is that you're not actually listening, and then they actually ask you a question when you respond and you actually didn't even answer the question that they're asking you. I want you to hear this because this is a very simple thing to shift. All you're gonna do is that when they're talking, you're going to try to repeat words that they're saying in your head. Okay, this is what worked for me. Okay, so if you're talking to me right now, as you're talking, I'm going to continuously just repeat certain words in my head. So as you're telling me a conversation about your uncle or why you're looking to sell or whatever the heck is going on right now, okay, in your life, and you're just blabbing along, I'm just going to constantly be repeating some of the words that you're saying. You say like, looking to move to Florida, okay, moving to Florida, okay, and like, well, we're looking to move to Florida by the summer, and like I'm repeating all these key words that you're saying out, in my head, not out loud. Looking to move to Florida by the summer. Move to Florida by the summer. Like, what are you talking about, guys? Like, I'm not saying it out loud, guys. In your head, okay? Repeat these words in your head so that when they're done, you can say, well, John, what I heard you say is you're looking to move to Florida by the summer because of X, Y, and Z. You already see it on your script. That's the next part to say. That's why you don't have to think about what to say because They're telling you what to say. Does this all make sense? Listen to understand, not listen to respond. All right, number next, and last but not least, have a pen and paper right next to you. Listen, if you like to freaking type on your laptop or on your phone, have your notes section open. Because when I'm on vacation and I'm out, great example of this. I was just in Turkey with my fiance, and I was on a boat. It was awesome, enjoyed myself, and I still made my cold calls. I made the calls that I had to make. My laptop, was dead, or wasn't working for whatever reason. What I would do is that I'd have my phone out, and I would literally be typing my notes on while they were on speakerphone with me, so I could literally take my notes anywhere. But if you're at a desk, like I am right now, at your office or anywhere that you are, type it on your laptop, type it on your little pad and paper, and you're gonna write down what? What are you gonna write down? Again, you can track your data on the productivity log, like we talked about if you downloaded it, okay? You're gonna track your data. You can write down any objections that you get. You can write down quick notes about what they're saying. So like again, when they're talking, they're saying moving to Florida, and you can write down by the summer. Okay, you guys understand what I'm saying here? Point is, take notes, because it's going to allow you to drastically enhance your ability to not only respond, but to communicate, and then also learn from the calls that didn't go so well, because you got some notes, and you got some objections that you probably got today, so that way you can call up your buddy, or you can go to a Henry Eisenstein YouTube video, and you can comment, hey, my objection is this, can you support me? And I will create a video just for you, Johnny. Yes, I'm talking to you. What objections are you getting? Because if you're not putting them in the comment section down below, like I've asked you 100 times, Johnny, I'm not gonna be able to support you. Listen, guys, like I said in this video, if you want to be coached by me, in the comment section down below or the description, make sure you take full advantage of it. If you do not make one call after this video, rewatch the video. If you're still watching, I'm gonna do this for you. Comment in the section down below, and I will give one lucky comment person, okay, someone who comments on my video, I'll call you and I'll do a 5 to 15 minute call on your, whatever objection you're getting. Make sure I can help you overcome your whatever fears that you're still having at this time. Other than that, guys, I love you so freaking much, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.